Yo, what's good? My name's Kang, and today I'm going to be going over the world's 3 first Ethereum ETFs. But before we get started, let me know in the comments, do you think Ethereum is going to hit 3K this year? And while you're down there, please hit the like button because it really helps the channel grow. So, crypto's been hot this year. Bitcoin and Ethereum both posted their all-time highs this month. And that's not even to mention the insanity that's going on with Dogecoin right now. That last one was a joke, please don't invest into Dogecoin. 2 months ago, BTCC, the world's first Bitcoin ETF, was released. And now, by the time you're watching this, you're able to purchase 3 new Ethereum ETFs on the TSX. One quick note, if you haven't already watched my video on BTCC, I highly recommend checking that out first. In that video, I go into more depth about the pros and cons of owning a Bitcoin ETF, and I think a lot of the same ideas apply to owning an Ethereum ETF. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So the big question for the video is, should I invest in Ethereum through an ETF? And if so, which ETF should I choose? First, let's review how an Ethereum ETF works. All 3 of these ETFs will work more or less the same way. Basically, you log into a self-directed brokerage account like Questrade or Wealthsimple and you purchase shares of one of these Ethereum ETFs. The ETF will then take your money, transfer it to a hot wallet, and use your money to buy Ethereum on the exchange. Once it has the Ethereum, it's going to transfer it to a cold wallet where it's safely secured. Now, you as the investor have exposure to Ethereum without actually owning any Ethereum. When you want to pull your money out, the ETF is going to take the Ethereum out of the cold wallet, transfer it to the hot wallet, sell it on the exchange, and return that money to you. That's a pretty simplified explanation, but hopefully now you can understand a little bit more about how these Ethereum ETFs work. Now we can start to answer our first question. Should I invest into Ethereum or should I invest into Ethereum through an ETF? Let's go over some pros and cons of investing into Ethereum through an ETF. The pros of owning an Ethereum ETF is that it's very easy to use and you can hold it in your TFSA or your RSP, which means you can grow your investment tax-free. These Ethereum ETFs give investors a way to gain exposure to Ethereum by using something they already understand, an ETF. And investing through an ETF is simple in comparison to learning about a new exchange and learning about all these different wallets. On top of that, you can hold these ETFs in your TFSA or your RSP and let your investment go tax-free, which is something you're not able to do if you invest it to Ethereum normally. But that brings us to the cons. Owning Ethereum through an ETF is going to be more expensive because you're going to have to pay a yearly management fee to these ETF companies. Versus if you had just held Ethereum by yourself, you don't have to pay anybody a yearly fee. Next, the crypto market trades 24/7 where the stock market does not, which means you can miss out on some pretty big swings. For example, when Ethereum hit its all-time high, the stock market was closed. So, if it's important to you that you're able to buy and sell whenever you want, or even if you want to swing trade, I highly recommend just buying Ethereum outright and forgetting about the ETF. And the final con is, if you own Ethereum through an ETF, you don't actually own any Ethereum. And on top of that, you lose the whole entire feature set that Ethereum brings to the table. With Ethereum 2.0 just around the corner, you're not going to be able to take advantage of all the new features that are coming to the coin. For example, staking. On top of that, you lose the whole entire decentralization aspect of owning a cryptocurrency. And I've said this before, but the idea of a crypto ETF is just kind of ironic. It contradicts itself. Alright, so you've weighed the pros and cons and you've decided you want to invest into Ethereum through an ETF. But which one should you choose? First, we have ETHH. This ETF was created by Purpose Investments, who are the same guys that created BTCC. They have 3 ETFs that you can choose from. ETHH, which is in Canadian dollars and is hedged, ETHH.B, which is in Canadian dollars and unhedged, and ETHH.U, which is in US dollars. These ETFs have a management fee of 1%, which is the highest of the bunch, and they're custodianed by the Gemini Trust Company. Next, we have ETHX. This ETF is run by CI Global Asset Management, which are the same guys that did BTCX. They offer investors 2 options to choose from, ETHX.B, which is Canadian dollars non-hedged, and ETHX.U, which is US dollars. These ETFs have a management fee of 0.4%, which is the lowest of all of them. On top of that, they're having like a promotion where they're going to waive their management fee for the first couple months until June 15th, which is the first time I've heard of an ETF doing this, but that's pretty cool, I guess. They're being custodianed by the Gemini Trust Company, and they get their price of Ethereum through Bloomberg's Galaxy Ethereum Index. Next, we have ETHR. This ETF is managed by Evolve ETFs, which is the same company that did EBIT. They offer investors 2 options to choose from, ETHR, which is in Canadian dollars and is unhedged, and ETHR.U, which is in US dollars. They have a management fee of 0.75% and are also waiving that fee until May 31st. As for custodian, you guessed right, Gemini Trust Company. Evolve tracks their price of Ethereum through CF benchmarks. So as you can see, all these ETFs are very similar, with the biggest difference being their management fee. ETHX has the lowest management fee at 0.4%, followed by ETHR, which is 0.75%, and ETHH, which is 1%. But the difference between these fees are pretty insignificant, especially on a smaller portfolio. For some context, on a $10,000 portfolio, which is a lot, the fees would be $40, $75, and $100 per year, respectively. These ETFs also use different Ethereum trackers to set their NAV, which in the short term may affect gains, but in my opinion, long term shouldn't really matter that much. If you want to invest into an ETF that's hedged in Canadian dollars, you're going to have to choose ETHH, just because the other ETFs don't offer a hedged option. The argument for hedged versus unhedged is pretty long and complicated, so I'll link a video to someone who explains it much better than I can. But overall, in my opinion, you can't go wrong choosing any of these ETFs if you want to get exposure to Ethereum. I do want to make one final note about premiums. If you plan to purchase any of these ETFs, I would wait a couple days and wait for the hype to die down. Rewind 2 months ago, I bought BTCC on opening day and the hype for it was crazy, which means the demand was super high. This caused the price of the ETF to desync from the NAV and I ended up paying a pretty high premium. If I had waited like maybe 1 or 2 days, I would have gotten a price that was way closer to the NAV. In terms of my own investment into Ethereum, I think I'm going to wait a bit and try to learn some more. I currently have 3% of my portfolio allocated to BTCC, and I'm not sure how much I should allocate towards an Ethereum ETF. On top of that, I'm pretty new to cryptocurrency, so I want to take my time and learn about it properly. However, if and when I invest into Ethereum, I'm probably going to do it through an ETF. Its ease of use and the fact that you can hold in your TFSA or RSP are enough to persuade me to invest into an ETF rather than holding actual Ethereum. Overall though, I think these ETFs are a great step in the right direction for crypto and for investors in general. Hopefully when crypto becomes more and more legit, we'll have more ways for us to invest into this emerging asset class. But other than that, thanks for watching. I did the research, made the script, filmed and edited this video within the span of 2 days. So if you like it, please consider liking and subscribing. I plan to make a new video every 2 weeks, so hit the bell notification so you don't miss out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Later.